The chief of police of a small New Mexico border town resigned Wednesday. He was upset because he's not allowed to carry a gun because he has a criminal record for failing to pay child support. The only other officer, a deputy, left in the town is a guy with a domestic violence record, which means, he can't have a gun either. All that's left is, yes, there is the police dog, which really doesn't have a handler. So with a town so close to Mexico, is it safe for the officers not to have guns? What's the deal here? Keisha Heaven joins us, a defense attorney and former prosecutor. Kirsten Wilson is a trial attorney. Kirsten, the chief, his name is Chris Amijo, was apparently carrying a fake gun to make arrests.
Yes, he was carrying a fake gun, which you can imagine actually could make a situation far more dangerous,
right,
and amplify a situation if you actually were to encounter somebody that was armed.
Yeah, and Keisha, you're okay with just the dog enforcing the law as long as it's Rin Tin Tin, but I'm not sure this dog really is Rin Tin Tin.
Well, I have to say, first of all, I root for Nika. I say the dog is a better candidate of the two, but realistically, they need an officer, and being that it is a small town, I know in New Jersey, small towns, they do have the state police will come in and police those towns, so maybe they could do that.
You know what? It reminds me of one of my favorite shows on television, the Andy Griffith Show, and Don Knotts playing Barney Fife. Barney wasn't really allowed. He was allowed to carry a gun. There's Don Knotts. You gotta love it. But there was a running gag that Andy made him carry his one bullet in his shirt pocket because every time he loaded his gun, he'd misfire and shoot himself in the foot. So it's kind of like that going on here.
It seems a little bit like that, and I'm with Keisha. Nika seems like the best choice to stay on the force. In the interim, hopefully they'll get some additional assistance.
The town, I'm reading here from the Associated Press, this town is set deep in what the U.S. Homeland Security says, an isolated region popular with drug traffickers. So, this could get ugly. Somebody could really get hurt.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Maybe the Border Patrol police could police that town, since it seems like the only problems they may have deals with those issues.
Yeah, God bless Don Knotts. All right, good luck to the town of Vaughn in New Mexico. I want to transition to San Diego. A bus driver accused of serving pot brownies to 3 of his unwitting colleagues. He's now been fired, the bus driver. But one of the victims has also been put, or at least for a while was put on unpaid leave for not speaking up once he realized something was wrong. Take a listen to this.
I am a bus operator who was poisoned at work by brownies that were laced with marijuana. I was dry mouthed, a little lightheaded, and from what I hear, I was giggling a lot and real bubbly. And so I was sort of I guess I was high and didn't know it. This time, they know I've been poisoned. They know the brownies got some kind of drug in it. They know for a fact we had people on the bus and they were unsafe with drivers driving the bus unsafe.
Is it fair to punish the unknowing bus driver? Assuming his story is straight, we have no reason to doubt him. All right, Keisha, what about that? It seems like he got a raw deal because for a while they said, you, sir, have to go to drug counseling, and if you don't, we'll put you on unpaid leave. Come on, he's a victim, isn't he?
Right. I feel like he was being punished for something that he had no knowledge of. If this other employee put the marijuana in the brownies, how did he know? He should not have been placed on unpaid leave. I can see them saying, okay, for the rest of the day, you need to go home because obviously you can't operate a bus while you're under the influence of a drug. But I think he definitely got a raw deal.
What do you think, Kirsten?
I have to agree. Although, in defense of San Diego.
In defense of drugs.
In defense of San Diego. They're dealing with federal regulations and red tape that I'm sure they're already dealing with. The story coming out, a lot of hot water. They got a PR situation on their hand, and they're dealing with the feds now that have requirements that anybody that they believe has tested positive for drugs go through counseling.
I happen to be a California lawyer. There is a law called poisoning. It carries 5 years behind bars. You could see some pretty serious charges come down here for the guy who served up, the marijuana brownies.
Right.
And the police have done, according to the reports that I looked through, the police have actually done a full investigation and handed it off to the DAs, and they're looking at that exact charge.
Right, and he even admitted that those are the brownies that he made with his own ingredients. So poisoning charge definitely faces.
Now, what about the driver who kind of for a while was punished here, perhaps wrongfully? I smell lawsuit all over this thing, but he doesn't really have any damages other than lost wages.
Lost wages, it seems, for the time that he was off. It appears that the municipality has actually helped sort of push things through with the feds to get a waiver of the requirement for the federal, for the counseling.
I'm sure they're going to give him back pay for the time that he was out on unpaid leave as well.
These were, as I understand, homemade Betty Crocker fudge honey brownies, and which is certainly one of my favorites. But there's food all over places of work, and here in the newsroom and stuff, and
Right.
we eat it freely all the time.
Right.
It could happen to any of us.
When we start laughing on the air, then we'll start questioning
I start
who made the
giggling.
brownie.